Ahoy.
All right, and we are live at the 1 minute point. Wink.
Look at all these people.
Oh my God! All these mugs, these pretty happy faces.
They sent us a Twitch.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we doing tonight?
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, how we all doing?
Pretty good.
It's a lot of yellow on the screen right now.
A lot of yellow.
Yeah.
Love it, man.
Gotta keep it
It's Bananarama.
Our
And it looks
personal
as if
game
somebody is
tent,
visiting Dora.
Oh yeah, that's me. Yeah, I've got the fuzzy hairstyle today, unfortunately.
Right on, right on.
But yeah, thanks so much for having us on your guys' stream. Sorry about the little bit of technical difficulty to start, but you know we're just really excited to be here and you know
we're excited to
answer
have
your
you on.
guys'
Yeah, for
questions.
real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we had a. We'll go into it a little bit more, but Troy and I had the pleasure of meeting you guys at Origins, and then
Yes.
then I had the secondary pleasure of sitting at my table with the kids, putting together our little project that we'll talk about tonight, which was really fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
The 4-year-old and the
Looking forward to
17-year-old, they had a bonding experience. They're usually like
Oh my
fighting
gosh.
one another, so it was cool.
Bridge the gap a little bit.
Did you get good
That's
photos?
Yeah, 100%. Well, hang on.
We
Let's do
love
this
that.
really quick. Troy, I think you're going to be the master of ceremonies tonight with this one. So, if you want to do kind of like do we want to do a pre-intro, or do we want to? Are we recording the stream tonight, or what are we doing?
Oh, we're recording? Yeah, we're recording.
Are you
mean,
recording
like, for
now?
video purposes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course I am.
Oh, good.
How else do I get those sweet cold opens?
Yes.
Guilty.
A lot of anticipation.
Yeah. So we've got Josh, we've got Alex, and I
Brendan.
have not
Brendan.
Brendan.
There
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Game Tank
And-
Boys.
Yeah. Yeah. Game Tank Boys meet chat. Chat.
Hello, chat.
meet the Game Tank guys.
Chat, be
Chat.
nice.
Please
Be
be
mean
kind.
to us. Be
Yeah.
nice to our guests.
Yeah. Yeah.
We can take it.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
They'll
they've
be
got
nice
something
to
really
you.
cool,
I
so-
didn't have to say that. They're going to be nice to you. They're going to be merciless and brutal and fiendish towards probably me, because that's on brand.
It's on brand. It's on brand. Who do we have in chat tonight so far?
So far, we got.
We got
Yep, go ahead.
we've got of course we've got Girk. He's already busting your chops. Kill a lot. We got Fairstein and Craig and
The chat is in
Debbie Moore
Twitch.
maybe,
Twitch.
and have this too. Could be bots. Maybe.
The only way we'll know if you're not a bot is if you tell us that you are not a bot. You're a meat popsicle.
Yes.
That
Well,
is
that's
not.
also-
that is not.
that's
That is
also-
not like one of the rules of robotics.
That's exactly what a
That-
bot would say.
Exactly. Like I'm like. This is about as smart as we get, folks. You're a robot. You have to tell me that you're a robot.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's like those capture things. I'm not a robot.
Yeah.
You're the robot. How am I validating myself to a robot?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kill-A-Lot says that they are nice to everyone on this channel, which is,
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair
It's-
statement.
it's yeah.
I think the niceness rises to the level of capability of the person that you're targeting, right?
See?
If
See, there
you're
it is.
capable,
Effing
super
assassins.
nice. If not capable,
Okay.
they rose or descended to meet you at your level. And that's what
That's
Kill-A-Lot
right,
will.
that's
That's
right.
a Kill-A-Lot promise. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey Troy, are we ready to do this thing?
I think we are. I think we are indeed.
Excellent. We are
All right.
geared up as well.
Well, then here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Bite Size Gaming Podcast, the podcast that's serving up a buffet of RPG topics to get you through your week. My name is Zach, and the hosts joining me this evening are the dandy dapper DM, Troy Sandlin.
Oh, apparently I have a new D.
Well, yeah, we gotta
It's
get
the
you
extra
triple
D that makes all the difference.
It's the extra D.
You paid extra for it, right?
I,
That's right.
or maybe it was just, It was thrust
It's
upon
thrown
me.
in for good measure. Yeah.
Please don't say that again. Don't repeat what you just said about me.
Well,
We will
Off
get
the
through this
rails.
intro eventually, I promise.
Yeah,
Off the rails already.
Listen, the man who needs no introduction, the Dwarven DM, John Christian.
Greetings, everyone. I do like
Wait,
the
you
Dandy
forgot
Dapper Dan dad.
That's a lot of.
That was a great voice that you just did right there. It was like buttery smooth.
Yeah. Oh.
And then these other fellows, these other yahoos that you hear coming in are the Game Tank crew, Alex, Josh, and Brendan.
Yes.
Hello and
Howdy,
welcome,
y'all.
fellows.
Ahoy. Thank you for
Some
having
new
us.
friends on the show
Absolutely.
today. I'm excited.
Yes.
Yes.
Some new acquisitions.
Right.
New
I think
victims.
so. We're gonna get right into it. We're gonna talk about Game Tank and what they're all about here in just a minute. Before I hand it over to Troy, Troy was the one who kind of collided with Game Tank at Origins a few weeks ago. But before we hand it off to Troy and John, do we have any news or anything that we need to cover today?
I don't have anything,
if-
honestly. What do you got,
Pretty
Troy?
rules.
I think
rules-
there has been some news,
slide.
but everybody else covers that stuff anyway, and
Fair
way
enough.
better than we do. So.
Fair enough. All right. Well, hey. With that being said, then Troy, I'm going to turn it over to you. Take it away. Let's hear about
All
it.
right. Well, as most of the listeners out there know, the three of us were at Origins a few weeks ago, and when I finally got to start cruising around the vendors hall, I ran into some new friends, and they told me, you have to go check out this booth. They do a really, really cool thing, and they're called Game Tank. So I immediately started cruising the aisleways looking for Game Tank, and I found them. And my friends did not steer me wrong. Game Tank, the Game Tank crew has come up with a really cool way to, I think, get the younger generation of new gamers maybe interested in RPGs and D&D specifically. I would like for you all to tell us how you came up with this. What was your journey from concept to actual product? And I have mine right here.
Yours is still in the box.
Mine is still
Mine,
it's
yeah.
still nicely in the box because I don't.
See, I did my homework, lamer.
I don't want to. I don't
Yeah,
want to pop
but-
it open until I have someone to build it with.
Bust my chops,
Because I
will
mean,
you?
this is like I said. This is for This is for those of you that know, these are Lego style building blocks, and this is a dice storage and dice tower in the form of like a little cottage.
Here.
And this is the farmer's dice tower, and this is only one of the items that they have so far. And there's for the bigger set, there's adventures to go with it, and all kinds of stuff. And this is just fantastic because as a kid, I loved Legos. I loved anything I could build. And then of course I incorporated that with all my G.I. Joes and everything else. And this, I'm more upset at myself because I didn't think of this. Actually.
And by the by, so this is the cottage, right? Or that's the farmer's dice tower
The farmers.
brick set, right?
Yes.
So the other one I think that I saw while we were there was the wizard's dice tower, right? Which is kind of like the like
Yep.
probably 2 to 3 times as big as this thing. I am totally kicking myself
Yeah.
in the pants because once I put this thing together, not alone, I did put this together with my kids, but once I put it together, I was like, crap, man. I want the tower now. It's like it needs a complete set. So the next time that I see you guys, I'm totally gonna have to snake another the dice tower because it's great. So yeah, I'm with Troy on this one. I absolutely love the product. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
I really do.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
it's it's just been great. And you were asking about how we came up with this idea, and really it was like playing together as a group. Josh brought this dice tower in, and it was made out of Legos, and we were like, this is amazing, and we started using Lego for playing Dungeons and Dragons, and
Mm-hmm.
it just sort of evolved from there, you know,
Yeah.
little baby steps.
Yeah, there was, we kind of tapped into like a whole different community of people that have, you know, been doing it, and then just like the scale and everything that already kind of lends itself to role play games and other just other sorts of gaming, and you know, to be able to use the bricks in a lot of different ways and have them not just be like stagnant as some of the other sorts of models are in other major role playing games.
Yeah, we as soon as we started using Legos for D&D, we were like, this is great. I'm surprised no one else has thought of this. And we immediately go on the internet, and of course there's a whole community
Oh, yeah.
of people
Yeah.
who've been using, you know, Lego for D&D for ages, and we were like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, we gotta tap into this just a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was, you know, fantastic because it kind of combines all of our passions, and you know, the reception has been great, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a wonderful experience.
Yeah, that's definitely been, I think, one of the cooler parts is just like, I mean, going to Origins and going to convention, like that was our first ever
Yeah,
convention. was,
or putting our toe in.
yeah, and,
Right
and
on.
just, you know, just the amount of like positivity and like openness and like wanting to talk and like intrigue with like just what we were doing. It really like was a very fulfilling moment, and like a list of very fulfilling moments
Yeah.
that these last 2 years have like brought between like two
And-
different
And we,
Kickstarters.
and we definitely just thought we had a good idea, but it was even more
Mhm.
reinforced that it was like a relatively unique idea. Not
Yeah.
not the using Legos, but you know, the idea of using this technology that we've had for however long, and it's already like perfectly manipulatable for what you have to do anyway when you're playing any sort of fantasy game. You know,
Mhm.
like you're constantly in the need of newer terrain or different terrain. You're moving through different types of cities and stuff. So, you know, the possibilities are endless, and we're very surprised that it's an untapped market in a sense.
Yeah, so because I've not seen anybody any other companies out there create their own stuff
Mhm.
like this, but I have seen a lot of people use, especially the minifigs. I see a lot of people use
Oh, yeah.
minifigs
Oh,
at
yeah.
the table.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
it's a
of course,
classic
I've seen-
homebrew strategy.
Yeah, it's great. It's like, duh, why, you know, everybody's like, yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta go out and buy the new Harry Potter set so I can do this new thing for my game,
Yeah.
which is
Oh, yeah.
awesome. But now it's
Yeah.
you know, custom made.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean,
And it's functional too, you know, like
Totally.
think of how many you know, think of the people who just buy the Harry Potter set, and they get the minimal, well, the maximum fun still of just it being Harry Potter. It doesn't really
the building
change.
experience.
Yeah, it's not really built for anything other than like a model type set, whereas this
Yeah.
is you're able to play with it, and
Yeah.
for the Wizard's Dice Tower, the story itself is centered around it. So, you know, it's a whole experience getting to build it and then getting to utilize it in addition to the build.
Oh yeah. Once we like took the build and actually put it on the battle map, you know, and we're playing around the map itself. I mean, we were like, this is a new experience. Like we're having, you know, it's like we're reigniting that sort of imaginative fun,
Yeah.
you know, among ourselves. And then we were like, well, we really hope that, you know, if we share this, you know, that it'll
It
kind of do the
translates.
same thing. Yeah, it'll translate, hopefully.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just been it's been wonderful. Yeah.
So my experience with this is kind of unique, right? So I was with Troy whenever I met you guys, and you had me at Legos, yeah, and the Dice Tower is awesome. What happened to me afterwards is I got home with it, and I have a litter of children. But my 17-year-old son, and first of all, he came with me to Origins, but he was like somewhere else,
Oh.
right? And I tried
Yeah,
to
there's a
find
lot
him
going
to
on.
bring him back by and let you guys see him, or let him see it and everything. And I think he did. He may have seen like really, really quickly, but
I think so.
I think
Yeah.
it was
yeah, I
real
think he
quick.
did. But like it didn't click until we were like in the car driving home, and I'm like, dude, this is a dice tower. Like, look at this thing. And of course, he opens up the box and takes out the instructions. Which, by the way, top-notch job on the instructions. That is like,
Thank you.
like seriously, that is probably a very easily overlooked thing by a lot of consumers.
Yep.
Like, I appreciate the instructions. That looked like something that was totally like a Lego build. It was professional.
Right on.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So he's looking at it and he's like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can't wait to get this home. And normally the 17-year-old and the 5-year-old girl don't just like mesh. So like big brother.
They don't have
little
too much
sister.
in common these
Yeah,
days.
not a ton, right? Not a ton. Except for maybe like they watch Adventure Time together every once in a while. It's about, that's about what they've got. And so, but he's like, I cannot wait to get home and do this with Daisy. I'm like, oh my God.
Don't cry. Don't
Oh
cry.
child, oh child. And so I get home and we put it together. And what was amazing is he puts it together with her, and he's fantastic. Where they had a blast. But then he's like, "Didn't I have like?" He goes, "I know I've seen this somewhere before." And he leaves, goes into his room, which is like the no man's land. I don't go in there. It's like toxic waste and mutants and stuff like that in there. But he gets underneath his bed, and he brings out 3 boxes of Heroica boxes. I don't know if you guys,
Nice.
and he's like,
Yeah.
and he goes, we can play this game and use this as
Yeah.
our dice tower now. And like,
Definitely.
it's like now it's like an
Absolutely.
accessory for Heroica, which for those that are listening out there don't know, it's totally Legos and D&D. But it's like a really kind of like a simplified version of it. They've got like a Lord of the Rings thing. He's got the Hobbit one and a couple of other ones, and you can kind of build platforms and dungeons and all that stuff. So not only did he had a blast, she had a blast. They got to share something. He got to introduce something to her that was really cool. There was a very small amount of fighting, but it was manageable about who was going to plug what into what.
Yeah,
But then he was like, here is something else. Like, I can use this
Yeah.
for something else. So look, hey,
Yeah.
like for me, you won. You won Origins, guys. For me, in my house, they were so stupid excited about this. So I was really excited. At the very least, I needed to see you guys again and tell you that story because kudos.
That really means a lot, and
You're
it's
making it
definitely-
worth it.
Yeah, well, that's something too. I didn't even think we even realized it until Origins. I was like, we noticed a lot of like fathers and sons, and fathers and kids, and fathers like or moms and like daughters. Like everybody was like, almost every person under the age of like 14 that walked by was like, whoa, like stop. Like pull their parents over and come and look. And it was such an interesting demographic that we necessarily hadn't even been
Considering
targeting
really,
or-
like
really like
we've thought about a demographic in terms of like who we're gonna market towards
Yeah,
or
and
who we're gonna aim
yeah
ads at, but for sure the father trying to extend the love of fantasy
yeah
and a thing that's already graspable in their minds, which is Legos, brick building, that sort of early development stuff. That also just carries on, like it can be, it can go upwards, it can become more complex, the builds and whatnot. So it offers teaching moments, and then again like that lateral move of we came out with a D&D set, but like you can use it for everything. You got those pesky people keep rolling 6s at your risk game. Not no more. We're keeping it random the whole time.
Right on.
Yeah, it's like you guys tell that's a good. It's cool that you mentioned that, right? It's like this the Cats in the Cradle record scratches, where it's like dad and their kid are like, hang on a second, let me have a moment with you. Like, let me show you something. Like, I know you love Legos. I dig Legos too, but watch what I can do with Legos. And let me blow your mind. And then to have that moment together, it was cool. It was really, really cool.
no absolutely
It's something the kids are doing anyway. It's something I did.
Yeah.
Something we all did when we played with the all of our builds, the Star Wars stuff, the whatever you name it. And we, in a way, it's like, let's make it do that. Let's make it playable.
Yeah.
Let's bridge sort of the manipulatability of just building whatever it is your imagination can come up with, and something that's imagination based, such as role playing games.
When you
D&D
made it
specifically.
functional, you took like that's the other thing too. Is like you took a brick set and it's not just something that's a display that it can just hang out upon on a shelf.
Yeah.
Like
Although it
as cool as it would be, I would love to take the Millennium Falcon and chuck that across the yard just to see it fly one time before it blows up.
Right.
Yeah.
But like it's just something that you can have at the table and you can play with, like, and it's just like over and over and over again, or it sits on a shelf for a while and you break it out every once in a while, and it's also a discussion piece or like a conversation starter for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, I think even too, like even on the end of like, I mean, I think we were definitely trying to market towards people like our age and people that like DM with like, you know, friends and stuff like that. I think a lot of people already have kind of their system and setup, and there's a lot of other, you know, options as far as scenery and all that kind of stuff. But like for me, I think one of the bigger things is like just the ability like to be flexible with like your scenery, like mid game, to where somebody's like, they're like, oh, we're gonna go over to this like well or whatever, and it's like, oh shoot, I built the whole town and I didn't build that, you know, like you could just take something apart real quick, and then I've been like, here it is, here's the shrine, like you found it, you know. It's there's definitely lends that aspect
Smashing
to it too.
walls.
Oh
Yeah, exactly.
You
Like
know,
take the walls out, and I mean even too with the minis and stuff. You know, you want to change.
Yeah.
You want to change your character.
When I lop
outfit.
someone's head off, I
Yeah.
want to lop their head off.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And then you put
Exactly.
I wanna
put the
steal the
red
weapon.
peg there instead, so that it
Yeah.
you want that visceral blood thing where the head
Exactly.
used to be,
Oh, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Josh just takes all the red pegs and he just like sprinkles it like the salt guy. You know?
Like
He's
like your Gordon
"Oh,
Ramsay
Yeah.
putting that English on
absolutely.
it. Nice, I like that.
Absolutely.
And to pick him up, he's got like a little mini vacuum. No joke, he really does. And he'll like vacuum it up. It's beautiful.
That's
I
awesome.
love
It's like
it.
it's like a little vacuum for your keyboard, but it works perfectly.
Yeah, it picks up those little pieces like
I
a
only use it for
like a
blood cleanup.
charm.
Well, I mean, that was definitely too. I think that was one of the things when we really started. We were playing like there was this like other like brick-based like battle type game that I played like when I was in like high school myself. Even it was like I don't know, very like early internet, not really a lot of sources for these sorts of like, you know, war type games, basically like a war game, but you made your characters and you built a battlefield, and then you got to play with it and use your cars and crash your vehicles. And it was super fun. And then I kind of had like my Dark Ages is like a Lego thing that they talk about where you you know, you're like, I'm gonna put the kids' toys away and
Yeah.
grown-up stuff and get a girl.
I don't play with Legos anymore. I'm an adult.
Exactly.
When I was a man, I spoke as a man. But now when I was a child, I spoke as a child. But now I'm a man. I
You
put
had it
away my
right.
childish things.
Yes, exactly. But then I kind of
Now that I'm a man, I can afford more childish things.
That's right.
Exactly.
The
Amen.
nicer
I mean,
childish things.
That was definitely it. Like I took my Legos back to my parents' house and I started to like play with them again, and then I kind of remembered playing this game that I played in high school a little bit, and then I like found the rule book and just kind of been like adapting the rules of that into a different game. And then I started like, it's like a dice based game, more like Risk and a little simpler than, you know, D&D and Warhammer and stuff like that. But I was building dice towers onto the maps, and then it was like we were playing this game, and then Alex was like, hey man, like you should make like a standalone, like something that's like people would use
just
this
the tower
like,
itself.
and honestly too, at that point too, I hadn't even ever played Dungeons and Dragons up until like my kind of rebirth into gaming and everything was really kind of re-sparked with my interest in Lego and bricks and like where that can take you. And I don't know, it's been a big part of it, and definitely where we want to get into. And I think we're definitely working on our own proprietary game for bricks and
Yeah,
for
but
minis and
hopefully in
stuff
the
like that.
future we'll be creating our own game.
Yeah.
Much development necessary, especially to
It's
even
getting close.
being able to see how people are handling
It's
their
already
own
a ton of
games,
fun.
you know.
But
It is.
Yeah.
It's you know, I'm trying to make a game where
it's fast.
I've been saying
it's
it is like
small sessions.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
more like a Fortnite type game, like Battle Royale, but then you could, you know, scale it up to do adventures and, you know, like level up your character and level up to the point of having armies and playing like Warhammer type games with the, you know, all these other, you know, larger battlefields and stuff, down to like the smaller encounters and different objectives, and kind of just you know, having a little box set where it's all brickable character sheet, and you can interchange abilities and actions and weapons and.
He does this. He has this really cool idea. So he essentially like uses bricks, and he'll like stick the bricks together to represent like different actions that the you know the characters can take, and then you can take like the little pegs off to keep track of the actions and the different things you can do. And I remember seeing that for the first time and being like, this is wonderful. Like I loved it.
It's fun, and it is definitely too. Like there's a bit of setup time, but the gameplay itself is really quick and very like.
Yeah, it'll be hopefully just another example of taking your bricks to the next step. Creating this wonderland, this scenario, and then actually immersing yourself into it. And having a set of rules and
just a real simple set of like. Well, I mean, I think we were even talking about the. Like you guys know about the original like rule game booklet, like from like the first like rule game booklet for your toy soldiers was written by like H.G. Wells.
Oh yeah,
the first like rule booklet ever written out on how to play.
Yeah, and it was like because guys had the little tin soldiers after war, and they were making like
guys wanted to relate to their children by telling them about all the murder that they participated in.
Yeah,
son,
and give
you
them
know what it
blood
sounds like when you stab a man with a baby.
Exactly right.
Don't prick your finger while you're painting them.
No. But yeah, people were already making these giant models, these giant physical recreations of these battles, historical reenactments and stuff, and then H.G. Wells was like, I'll make a rule book. Yeah. So you can play a game. You can see if you can be the general, and I think that's where all this started, and definitely like something I think about frequently as far as like what we can kind of do with the avenues that we're into.
I like the fact that like what you tap into with it is like you're playing a game, but there's also there's a kinetic aspect of it that. Even with D&D, it can be theater of the mind, right? So you don't have to have miniatures, you don't have to have a map or anything like that. You don't have to, right?
Yeah,
it's almost
and paper.
Right, but eventually there's like you still have handouts. You've got like you want something tactile to be able to connect with, right? Like you can the mind can only go so far without just a little bit of a nudge, right? And so in this aspect, but now what you tap into is not just like that tactile kinetic aspect, but also like. You can participate at whatever level you want to in like engaging in a different type of creativity, right? And not only like the metaphysical or like the designing a character or putting together backstories and like the kind of like the authorial, aspect of it, but like you can build things as a component of it too. Whereas a lot of people, it's kind of like out of their reach, like 3D printing or painting or drawing something. It's like, oh my god, I don't know how to do that, but I can follow instructions. Like that's one of the things I think that I love so much about Legos.
Together.
I love that about Legos and about brick sets and stuff like that is that the kid that's like, I don't know how to make a spaceship out of this stuff, but I can follow instructions, and then I did this thing where it used to be a bunch of disparate pieces of stuff, and now put something else together, and that's another layer of the hobby with the game hobby that you can help people engage in, and at least give them like a taste of it.
Well, I think even too. I mean, we kind of had this conversation when we were first, even like around our first Kickstarter of like when we were like when we had more time to play more D&D, and we were doing with bricks and stuff, and we would play, and then we would like sit back and look at the session, and it was so cool to be able to like see some of these physical manifestations of like the game that you play.
Yeah, almost see like the breadcrumb trail of like whether it was like the bodies or the blown up house,
stuff that you burned down, like
the turnover cart.
Yeah, but then even too like, but like you said, like it I think it definitely aids to like your character building of like. I'm not the best drawer, right? Like I can't really put that together, but I can put some pieces, or even like painting, as far as like the other like resin-based models where it's like you get them as gray and it's up to you. Like you're getting these in all sorts of different colors. You can mix and match. There isn't that other level of like needing physical skills to participate in this hobby. Like you can
it is literally just follow instructions in a way. And for sure, at least in my draw to Lego and following instructions in general is I'm not a very conceptual person. Like it's hard for me to think about things in the abstract. It's not until I see it concrete in front of me, So it's to an extent D&D, sometimes the more stuff that is around, the more immersed I get, you know,
Yeah.
even if it is, you know, off color and whatever, weirdly concocted. But it's the fact that it's there. I'm physically reminded of it every
Yeah.
time I look down, you know.
Yeah, especially for battles and stuff.
It just helps, you know.
Yeah, totally.
So how much of these two sets? How much are bricks that you've designed?
So none of these bricks are bricks that we designed. These are all bricks that
No.
have been accessible.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are working on though. We have purchased machinery and other injection molding machines and printing machines and stuff we're working on in the process of from
We're
our
cutting
last
molds right
Kickstarter.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
cutting,
very cool.
cutting
Yeah.
aluminum, making molds. We're going to be molding out our own like miniatures that are more of like a ball and joint type system, so they have a little more flexibility and kind of like trying to combine a little bit of the aspects too of some of those more intricately molded pieces.
Yeah, the
You
more
know,
articulated ones as opposed to the
you
traditional.
know, like different arms. We could have like a fur arm or like a hooded arm, you know. So there's a little bit more in that realm, and then dyeing them different colors and printing them different colors. So that's definitely something that we're very much in the works on and completing. Go ahead.
And the detailing on them, you know, we want like, you know, like the werewolf, for example. Like if we did a werewolf, which actually is on the list.
it's on that
It's on-
big long list.
Right
I
on.
gave you.
I'm sorry. I took a second. I was like, did we reveal that? And I'm like, yes, we did. We did
It's
reveal
now.
that. Okay. But you know, for like the arms on it would have like hair. You know what I mean? Instead of just being like a tube or you know,
Yeah.
something like
Oh,
that.
right on.
And the arms, you'd be able to, you know, pop them off and swap them with other arms. And
For
yeah,
when he's
we're really
transformed.
excited.
Freaking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
and then,
yeah.
even too, we can get into some of the monster manuals and stuff, and you know, having the brick physical representation of those
Yeah.
that are a little bit more
Right.
posable, and you know, like the
There's a
owlbear and
lot of
stuff,
things
so-
we can
When
go
you
through.
release your beholder,
That's what I was just saying. It's like
Let me know.
if everybody's not sitting here thinking of a a
buddy.
Lego brick beholder
the first one in line, shut up and take my money.
with the eye stalks that you can pose and
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
No, some little eyeballs floating there. Yeah,
we
definitely.
we
Some
have
acrylic
a
beams.
litany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's even a thing too with some of our future products. We definitely want to get down and you know, kind of be able to provide that like that starter pack. Of,
Yeah, the classics, you know, hit
like
hit all the
yeah.
majors and then
Have like the
delve
magic
out
missile
into-
hand holder thing, you know, with like
Yeah.
the 3
Mhm.
missiles.
Oh, right
or
on. That's
Yes.
cool.
like the fireball, like, you know,
Fire-
so they
yeah.
hold it out like their hand and there's the big fireball.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's cool.
You know,
So-
just
Yeah.
like different weapons and
Well, let me ask you this: you've got 1,000 things that you're trying to like, like a
We're
lot of
thinking
things
about
that
it.
are on the book, like in your mentally in the books. We're like, this, we got to do this. Oh my God, we could totally do this too, right?
Yeah.
So what is the process for all of you? What made you say, think like, okay, you know what? Let's do a cottage or a farmhouse. Or let's do a tower first. Boom, and then from there. What are you going through to think about, like, okay, here's the next iteration of what we're going to do, because these
sure.
are the two that we've got in the can that are
For sure.
producible, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I definitely like, you know, we started with the farmer's house. It was doable. It was, you know, it was something where we were able to like have a
We wanted to-
approachable Kickstarter
yeah.
goal. And,
yeah, a reasonable Kickstarter goal
Mhm.
for
We
our
wanted-
first
we wanted to
Kickstarter.
We wanted to start small and just see. It was again another instance of dipping our toe in the water
Yeah, we
and
had
seeing
no
like
idea.
if we're gonna get any sort of bites, any sort of
yeah.
Are
we
people
got
gonna
some-
like it?
yeah
Yeah, we
and,
got some like for instance, Facebook ads.
and it was
for emails.
overwhelmingly positive for the
Yeah.
most part in terms of like this is cool, this is unique. You're on to something. It's this might not be the final form it takes, but you know this is an interesting product.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then the main pushback was it's not big enough. Like
Yeah.
people want to roll multiple dice.
Yeah.
Um,
The Warhammer people were like, "I'm gonna roll 60 d6s." I'm
yeah,
like,
and it was just
okay.
it was just like it was just a little just too small for average gameplay, you know.
Yeah.
So we created we went up a size, and at the same time we were like, let's put a campaign with it. You
Yeah.
know, might as well. We're
Yeah.
gonna make the Kickstarter. We might as well invest a lot of the extra
Yeah.
money into something such as a campaign and you know, some other
Oh, yeah.
accessories that we're working on.
And it definitely was, we were realizing like, okay, it's going to cost X amount to, print these books and run these things, and it's not going to really be an insane amount more to just include this other
Yeah.
whole other element to it.
And it makes the appeal of the dice tower itself
Yeah.
more, again, more enticing. Like,
Yeah.
not only do you get to build it and use it for whatever you
For
want to
whatever
use
you
it,
want.
it at least has this bare minimum story that you get to run around it. You know, like, even if you find it's not your thing, you at least played through
Well,
something with it.
it's got 3 gaming sessions. You know,
Yes,
that's
3 full gaming sessions.
yeah.
It's substantial. I mean,
Yes,
it's you know,
it is.
it's
It's
a few
fair-
hours before
it's a
you
fair
realize.
sized, yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. and
No,
by
it-
then, it should have its
You're already
hooks into
sucked
you
in.
deep enough. You're
Yeah.
like, you're done. You're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, but we're definitely too. I think we had a lot of fun. I think with the story and like writing this and having thought inputs and working with writers, and it definitely was something we were like, we definitely want to continue that on and to like have the storyline move into different themed
Yeah.
tower sets and stuff like that.
Sci-fi, maybe.
Yeah, or I mean, or even as much
oh,
as like here's like the paladin shrine, or like
Yeah.
here's the cleric's monastery, like
Mhm.
there's
Elf tree.
yeah, exactly, exactly, his forest oasis. Yeah, there's just a lot of, and that's even just focusing on just D&D and those sorts of roleplay games, and there's a lot of other, I think, very brickable games that could be adapted.
Oh, yeah, I like that brickable.
Brickable.
Yeah.
So
it's
yeah. So what's next? What is next for Game Tank? What can you give anybody some teases? Like what's? I mean, this is like the overarching all
Yeah.
these things that we can do, but what's?
Yes. Yeah.
I said it to Alex at the end of like Origins. We were talking about it, and there is an idea. There is like a solid product, and at this time we're both kind of like just orbiting it and kind of like saying what the other person's saying in different ways.
Yeah. There's definitely some discrepancies when it
Yeah.
comes to agreeing on the
what the final
final
product's gonna look like.
iteration,
But
but
we're
it-
definitely talking about like
a larger set.
larger set, maybe closer to like 1,000 pieces. Also kind of adapting more so like that 3-in-1 mentality where we give you different builds to do
Mhm.
these same things, even different dice towers, different, smaller houses, or a lot of like traps or other scenery, or like carts and barrels, and all
Yeah.
those fun things, but then also being able to use those in different environments. And then also then I would say including some of the story element, but maybe more so like a one-shot kind of idea.
Mhm.
We've talked about having just more like a boxed set of
Ooh, that's cool.
like here's everything that you need. Like I personally want to put it in a tackle box to where it's so you can carry it around and take it from house to house and session to session. Have it be more of like a staple, or like this is it. Here's my terrain. This is
Yeah.
my terrain box, and I'm gonna be able to
That's
use this
cool.
one thing
That's awesome.
for a
Yeah,
very long time.
or even tackle box ish.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
definitely, it
No,
won't be
and
your
that's-
average tackle box,
Or
but
you could pay a little bit more. to
Mimic
get the big
tackle box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Tackle box.
just the classic mini separator. The
Yes.
the
Yeah.
for the OCD in all of us.
Yes, but then also too being able to provide the minis
Yep.
in the same sort of packaging too. So that's something we have to figure out as far as like making the minis here, then getting our bricks from overseas. How we would go about then packaging and shipping out from us. It's basically just the 3 of
Mhm.
us, and we're renting a small space right now. But looking to grow and get into warehousing and distribution. And
Right
stuff,
on.
so. Yeah. Yeah. I think that was kind of the answer.
Yeah,
But
it was
eventually,
good. Yeah, I was like, do I have to think of
yeah,
anything?
yeah,
I think you hit all the points. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think definitely we're trying to love Kickstarter, love everything that it's done, but also want to get to the point of being a self-sustaining business with enough,
Yeah, we definitely would
followers
like to
and-
just release a product and
yeah,
be able
There
to
you go. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
get pre-orders on stuff,
Yeah.
or I would talk about also doing like a Patreon of like monthly subscription service, and with like our machine we can do small batch like mini printing, I mean, even too, once we really get like these minis figured out, we're definitely talking about doing almost like a Hero Forge type.
Oh yes.
Create your own on our website, and we'll
Yeah.
a small batch make it for you. Or you can get a couple different. You can be like, oh, I have my one character, and I want these 5 different outfits or whatever. Yeah, stuff like that is definitely, and that's even gonna be more closer accessible. Like once these minis get figured out, we're gonna be able to offer them in pretty much any kind of design and pattern and stuff like that we
Yeah.
want to do. So
And we're slowly acquiring more and more machinery
yes,
at the office.
Yes.
Yeah, our big boy right now is the injection molder that we have, so that we
Yeah.
can produce, like the small, and it's like it's ABS, it's not like.
Oh yeah.
I love the 3D printers in your background, but
Yeah.
it's
No, I
gorgeous.
get it.
But ABS plastic, man. Mwah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
I'm really very surprised as to how much of a manufacturing company we turned into.
Yeah.
This was not our idea originally when it was more of this kind of game design and development.
No.
But,
So let me ask you. I got one for you then. Okay, so from like where you thought you were going to be versus where you are, right? With this, like, what skill sets did you have previously? Like, are you guys? I don't like. You tell me. Were you guys engineers, developers, architectural designers?
say-
You tell me what.
I would say Alex is the most qualified in this background.
Yeah, Alex has the most years in the industry.
Yeah. My background is in photography and commercial photography, so I definitely have like the packaging design and photos and stuff and like that on our website, and just graphic design and logos, merchandise, a lot of the front kind of things that you look at.
I mean,
But
designing the
that's something-
sets.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely designing the sets.
yeah, designing the sets.
Just throw, yeah.
That too. Yeah, just a lot of the like how it looks. But then Alex really came in with his expertise, and I can let him talk about that.
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the toy industry for about 6.5 years now. So I work for this toy company here in Chicago.
Don't say his name.
I won't say any names.
Okay. I don't want to.
I saw the terror in
any
your
feathers.
eyes. Oh God, don't say it.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
We dare not speak its name. We dare not speak its name.
Love them. No, love them. Definitely love them.
Oh yeah, fantastic company.
Yes.
But they do a lot of the R&D and manufacturing oversight for a lot of the bigger toy companies. And so I've been a product development manager for them for a while now, and so I was able to come in and kind of fill in the gaps with whatever was needed. So like finding the factory and making sure the packaging was correct, and helping out with Illustrator and web development and all that stuff. So it's just been a blast though, because it's like I get to do D&D stuff with my friends. I mean, what can you what's better than that, right?
It's weird when it works out like that, isn't it?
It really,
Oh, yeah.
I can speak from experience.
It
It's
is
been-
awesome.
I mean, like that really, I think, has been one of the cooler things of this adventure too. Like, we've had a handful of all-nighters and lock-ins for the weekend, and of like having to crunch time and push stuff out for projects, and it's just been really cool to do it with like 2 people that I care a lot about in my personal and professional life. And I know we had a little like bonfire moment after Origins where we all had a little it was very nice. It was very bonding experience.
You're good
It's really
company.
been-
I know the
Thank
feeling
you.
all too
Yeah.
well.
That means a lot.
Hey, just getting the reaction from my friends that said to come and find you. Their 2 little girls were so excited to get home
Yeah,
because they're like,
Yes.
we cannot wait to get home and build this.
that's so cool.
And
That's like,
and then finding your booth and meeting the 3 of you, and how you could tell you were all just, I mean, you're friends. You're doing this out of a place of love for not just D&D and gaming, but Lego and play. And I feel like talking to you, you three, it's talking to one big kid talking to three other big kids,
For sure.
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah, definitely.
yes, these are my people.
No, for sure.
Yes.
I mean, well, that
Thank
was definitely
you.
what we picked up on a lot of too at Origins of like,
Oh my
God,
gosh,
these are
yeah.
people like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Just
We're
getting
not
getting to
alone.
see people who were
No.
getting to see people who were like, oh, like there were people who needed the intro, needed the spiel, and then there were people who walked right up and were like, I get it, like I understand
Yeah.
exactly what's happening, and this is awesome, and plenty of people who walked right by, so definitely not trying to say everyone was like in awe.
But what about, and then there was
But it
the
was
walk
great.
past, and then like that look, like
the double
that,
look,
right,
like,
like,
was
what
Yeah.
the
yeah, what did I just see right there? That wasn't
sticker?
quite, yeah.
Yep.
Wasn't the usual stuff, but yeah, it overall positive experience in general, Gen Con, and then hopefully, Origins was. Hopefully we can get into Gen Con maybe next year, probably not next year, but just keep getting our name out there, keep seeing what the people want. Definitely going to be reviewing the chat and checking out what if people have said anything in terms of what they like, what they dislike. We'll be taking it all to heart.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
on. Yeah, chat. Let it fly. To talk to them.
Yeah, please.
Have you ever thought about? And I would think so. I'm excited for you. I know locally. I'm here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and every so often we have a Lego show that
yes,
comes
yeah.
through.
Brickworld?
Brick World, yes.
Brick World, yes.
Yeah.
Brickworld, yeah.
It's definitely we've talked with them. We did their virtual con during COVID. And some of the more Lego people are definitely a bit more Lego purists as
Oh,
far
yeah.
as the types of products that they want to buy and the types of
A
things that
slightly
they
more
wanna do.
exclusive community.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a bit more
Yeah.
a bit more openness and reception to people in like the gaming community who are crossover interested or not. People like want to see it and get it.
Yeah, it seems
So
like an
it's-
easier leap to get like D&D people interested in
Yes.
Lego products than it is to get
Yeah.
Lego people interested in D&D products.
Yeah,
Which is
I
so
wondered
weird.
because
Yeah.
the Lego. I was a Lego kid, so
For sure.
it really weirds me out that there are, like what you said, Lego purists.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
just
yeah.
watched
That's okay.
the Toys That Made Us
Yeah.
on Netflix. I just watched the episode about Lego,
Yeah. That's a great
Yeah.
episode.
and it's just like people are mad about that
I know.
Yeah.
Be-
Yeah.
Yeah.
because it looks a little weird. Come on,
Yeah.
it all sticks
Or-
together.
It
Yeah.
does,
All
exactly.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's definitely that's also why too we want to get into more so like providing the rule book for that, so we can
Yeah.
have people like I want to make a game where Harry Potter can fight Batman, and you can have like a very simple set of rules, but your people already have these minifigs, and then we can play
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I don't know. There just isn't really there isn't. I think like.
Nobody's interested in making you play with your Legos.
Well, yeah, and even I think as a company themselves, not to, it's definitely they've shown some interest in it. They're, they have the Heroica games, and they have a new line with like this like spinner. It's kind of like a dice that they have, but I think just like they're not going to make that jump into here's dice, like
Yeah.
even the Heroicas is like these are Lego dice. It's so they're not super interested in going into that kind of market, or at least it doesn't appear so.
Yeah.
So to be able to, get something out that people could use and play with, even with their other more pure bricks, I think could get us into those types of conventions more.
Yeah, they're kind of playing it safe. I think is what they're doing.
Yeah.
For
I mean,
sure,
it
and
makes sense.
honestly, who are we, right? Their
Yeah.
business models, I think, been pretty successful.
I think so. I have no one to poo-poo any of their
Yeah.
decisions.
Yeah. If there's
Well,
anybody
no, I mean-
from
I
Lego
mean, yeah.
listening right now, we would love to hear from you.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Not
maybe
yet.
maybe the people at the Wizards will tell the people at Hasbro, and they'll tell the people,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because they all listen
Well,
to us.
I mean, like, that's, I mean, that's
Yeah.
what's almost even weirder too. Is like Hasbro had a D&D brick line. I don't know if anybody even like knows about it because it was really
It just either unsuccessful or
it's a
wasn't
company.
well received.
But
yeah. It's like it like it wasn't.
Wasn't it like
wasn't-
Creo? It was a Creo thing.
Yeah, it was
wasn't
Creo, but
Oh,
Hasbro,
yeah.
Hasbro owned Creo. But it was still like you weren't even playing D&D. It was kind of just like medieval themed sets with
yeah.
like orcs and
Yeah.
goblins, and it,
It was
wasn't
super weird.
And you had little catapults where you're shooting balls to knock down the minifigures, and it's like this isn't D&D at all. I mean, I think they
Right.
had they did like one like is it Driz?
Driz.
Yeah, they had
Driz.
Driz.
Yeah, like one character. It's pretty cool. Like it's a really cool character.
I think I
but
do
there's
remember
just,
that. Yeah.
There's a whole line of and they just don't. I think they disbanded that in like 2013. I think even before like the 5 years.
Yeah,
Missed
I mean
opportunity.
Yeah.
the gaming
Very
community is always
confusing.
traditionally pretty specialized though too, you know. So if it doesn't, you know, if it doesn't really rattle the community, it kind of gets brushed off in a way, you know. Like games have a hard stick around life
For
in a
sure.
way.
I hear that.
And
Like,
especially too if it's
longevity.
untested, like it's very difficult to just be like, try this new game that we have no real background in.
Yeah.
But
But it's also
they're,
like, you know, with the big companies, you know,
Yeah.
they're always kind
They
of
can-
like,
they can
well,
take those
we already
chances."
sell, you know, this, and we
Yeah.
already sell this. Why would we, you know,
Oh yeah.
why would we try merging them? You know, why don't we
Right.
just, you know, separate is better? You know, it's like,
Mhm.
what
There
are
are
you
people
gonna do?
already doing it though.
I don't know.
You know.
I know. But they
Yeah.
all have a lot more money in their pockets than we do right now. So.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
can't argue with that.
No, can't really argue with them and the things that they create. But yeah, they definitely. I don't know. We saw an opportunity, and
Mhm.
we've definitely kind of found like this weird little niche between these two groups, and want to go as far as we can with it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, bravo for having the guts to do that, because I know
Thank you.
John and I are on the same page. It's a fantastic idea,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
and
you.
it looks great. It
Yeah,
is-
I mean that's been the feedback from people has been one of the bigger reasons to keep pushing it.
Yeah.
and keep wanting to
Why
do
we
it.
haven't given up.
You know, like,
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, remember that?
I mean, that
Remember that
first-
first photo we got on Facebook with like the kid holding that tower,
yeah.
and we were like
dude.
looking at it, and we were just like,
Yeah.
oh.
They gave us like a 5-star review on Facebook, and we.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I still
Oh,
have it
that's awesome.
like burned in my brain, man. Like it's, and everybody.
was a
I mean,
moment.
we really try and we're constantly talking to people on our Instagram and stuff, and commenting, and reaching out, and we want to. This community's been so welcoming to us from
Mhm.
everybody. Everybody has just been so welcoming, and it's really hard to not want to be like fully involved in this all the time, every
Yeah.
second of my life. Like,
Well, yeah,
It's
I
interesting.
hope you all just keep going at it, because hearing the ideas that you have, seeing what you've already done, and just thinking about all the untapped that you haven't even gotten to yet,
yeah,
Mhm.
it's just
Yeah.
like, oh,
yeah. No, this is not the last time we're going to be on this podcast.
oh hell yeah.
Maybe.
No.
Oh no.
Well, hopefully not. If it's up to us, no, we definitely want to, keep talking to you guys and people like you guys and people that
Oh, heck
everybody
yeah.
wants to talk, man. It's like it just helps build that sense of community. And I mean, I think eventually we're talking about having doing a retail store and
Mhm.
game nights and whole brick-based things of come in and learn this, and, selling other supplemental products, and just a lot of, and even to, I think larger, we want to get to the point of like, okay, take everything that we've learned and the machinery that we're going to be having at some point in time, and offer up services to other people that want to develop
Yeah,
games,
develop their own game.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
help
Oh, fantastic.
help
Eventually
take them
become a
everywhere
whole
from
production company. Yeah.
yeah, it's help take them everywhere from product idea and creation to photography, and then packaging design and all of these other things that Alex
Yeah.
brings to the table, and fulfillment and
We've-
shipping and
we've
all the stuff
learned
that Brendan does. Like,
Infinite amount of more information than we ever bargained for.
yeah,
Just going through these very few
Yeah.
steps we've already taken. in terms of beginning our company, making sure that our company is
An actual company.
is an actual company and can stay
Right on.
afloat.
Yeah.
And then
Pays
just
bills.
trying to not only have a good idea, but like a something we care about. You
Yeah.
know? Like
Oh, yeah.
again,
Right on.
we love Legos. We wanted to build, Josh was building dice towers. We saw it. We were like, dude, this is nobody's doing this. You know, like
Yeah.
there isn't a thing for this. You could find Googleable. You could get research results if you Google it, but it's also like those builds are so much more blocky a lot of times. People didn't really
Yeah.
take their imagination too far.
Until
They're not for sale.
Yeah, and they're not for
Right.
sale exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
so
kit-
it was
they're just kit
one of those
bashes,
things,
yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's just one of those things where it was like, there's a void here.
Yeah.
We could fill that void. We can offer them something that we care about,
Yeah.
that we think they'll care about.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely like that whole week, month, whatever, when we like first started there. It's like such a blur too of like,
Mm.
because it was both of these guys, and I would like made this, and I was like, I think it's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Like, and then both of them saw it, and they were like, dude,
I've never seen this.
we
before.
need
It's
to
more than
sell
neat, Josh.
this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we need to like, and
People-
like, and then yeah, we looked into
Yeah.
it, and like you said, there was just an opening, and we kind of ran head first, and
Pe-
have made a lot of decisions along the way.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite things about not just the community, but about creativity, right? It's like
Yeah.
finding out that you're not the only nerd in the room, or that like,
Totally.
I think this is kind of cool. No, seriously, this is cool. And when you have all those other
Yeah,
people
yeah.
that kind of that glom on and encourage you
Yeah.
to do more
Yeah.
and to push you to do more, it drives
Yeah.
you forward to want to.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
And yeah, just having that, you know, that's why we love talking to people on our social media, and it's having that face-to-face moment with everybody and meeting you guys and at, you know, the conventions and stuff. It's really like put a lot of gas in the tank.
Mhm.
Like as far as like we need to keep pushing, and I mean we all have full-time jobs aside from this. You know, we're having to pay a fair amount of things out of pocket and this and that and the other, but it's something that we're passionate about, and we want to make the product that we said we're going to
Yeah.
make for people.
We'd like to have new full-time jobs, and
Yes.
this is what we'd like to make it. You know.
Yeah.
Here, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It can be done.
It,
Yeah, I think
it
so.
can
Yeah.
be done. And this is something's got enough legs. I think it's going to get there.
Thank you. We're yeah. Can we get that in writing?
My mom would love to hear that.
Well, it's now on the interwebs for forever and ever. So
Yeah.
There we
It's
go.
spoken into existence.
That's a very
It
good
is.
point. It's a very good
It
point.
is.
We'll be showing this at our 20-year anniversary. You'll be there actually.
I think-
You'll be like, hey, they included
All right.
my clip.
Master of ceremonies.
that's okay. Yeah. we can do that. Well, you know, I really hope, like, in the future with the conventions that are coming up, hopefully,
Yeah.
you know, we can be there and maybe kind of add you to our family of booths and things that we
Yeah,
direct
that'd be
people
awesome.
to and share things with and stuff. Because great group of people and a great product, and yeah, it's just cool stuff. Yeah,
Thank you.
somebody in chat said, you know, Ferristine, you know, loving the idea of the adventure maps and the expansion packs, and she's excited to see where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
thank you.
thank you.
We'll
So
just keep
we-
everyone updated.
It's another one.
Yes.
Right in the fuel tank. Right there. Right
Right in the fuel tank.
My cup runneth
Right.
over.
Right in the game tank.
Absolutely. Game tank, fuel tank, in our game
That's
tank
right.
tank tops.
Oh man,
That's gonna be our
there's so much tanky goodness.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a lot. We have too much fun sometimes.
And there's no such thing. There's no such thing as too much fun.
Very true.
It's true.
Very true. Things to live by.
But okay, gentlemen, is there anything else that anybody, chat, my fellow hosts, the Game Tank crew, anything else that you want to let the listeners and the viewers know or say before we head out and start dreaming of brick sets of the future?
I've got one. How do we find you guys? All right, how do they find you? Like the listener at home.
Yep.
Like what are the social media digits and
www.
whatnot?
Yep. www.game-tank.com.
So it's like
and
game
then-
dash. Yeah.
Yeah. And then on Instagram, we are Game Tank Official, all one word.
Game Tank
Facebook, you can just search Game Tank. Oh my god, we're on like everything. We have a huge.
We are on everything.
Tank
We haven't
tweets.
quite utilized. Yeah,
Uh,
we haven't quite utilized Twitter and the such.
or Discord or any of these things. We have.
I would say probably the safest bet is going to be following us on Instagram or
Yes.
Facebook for sure,
Yeah.
because that's where we post, most of our updates.
Yeah.
Where if we have a project that's about to come out, we're like, hey, just so
Yeah.
you're aware, we got this thing coming along.
Yep.
So
we're gonna be posting about this link to this on there, so we definitely gotta get that cross promotion going with you
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
And don't feel so bad. We can't find our Twitter.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
I don't know
It's
how
out
many email addresses we have at this point in time, but we have like 4 or 5 Gmail addresses that we don't
Yep.
even use, and there's files all over the place. And
yep, that's where we're at with it. We there's one out there. We have one. We just can't find it.
Yes, but we had it too for so long, and we couldn't even figure out what the login was, and we had
No.
to like reset it like months after we made it, and it's
And now it's probably at that stage. We're back to square one. We're gonna have to reset
we're
it
going to reset
again.
it again, different login. So, yeah. Instagram, and
Yes,
Facebook.
Instagram,
Right,
Facebook.
right.
We're at least moderately active on those.
Yes. Yes. Try to be. It's a full-time
Yeah.
job, man.
we,
Yeah.
To any-
we won't
any project.
overwhelm you
I mean,
if you follow us.
yeah, we're not always.
Except for that
We're
one
not
time.
spamming the
posted, like,
post.
We aren't
updates
spamming
and,
you,
like,
you know.
48 hours, people got a little-
But it's good spam. It's
Yeah.
fun spam.
It'll be like important updates, and we'll share some like photos of work, like our games that we're playing, and
Yeah.
stuff
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
and we love sharing.
As we're
pictures.
pushing ahead too with
Yeah.
our injection molder, we're definitely going to be trying to
Oh,
be
yes.
more active
Yeah.
about that because
And send us pictures.
we owe a few people, and we would like to show them we're working diligently.
Definitely. Yeah,
Right on.
definitely.
I want to see some pictures of some hairy werewolf arms.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, they're
Very
coming.
soon.
Only the
hopefully,
hairiest.
Very soon.
You know, some nice like hairy legs too, with those little
Yeah. Yeah.
claw foot thing in it, and then it can be a little bit taller too.
Yeah.
A lot.
Oh yeah. Yes. I like it all.
I just want to say thank you guys, and I want to thank everybody that's listening, and thank you to everybody that's supported us.
Yeah, thanks.
So far along this way, from Kickstarters to family and friends and acquaintances. It's been. You guys are the reason we're doing this. You guys are the reason we want to talk to everybody and do it. We're doing it for you, man. We're doing it for everybody listening. We really love everyone.
It's been a whirlwind of positive emotions. So
Yes.
we apologize if we're not at our best or most articulate.
No
but,
way. Ride that wave, baby. Ride it.
I hope
That's
we're
what
just
makes it. That's what
Always
makes it
sure.
good.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what makes it good because it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, and hey, thank you guys for coming on. Seriously, and
Yeah.
thanks for being passionate about what you love,
Oh, yeah.
and like sharing something with other people that not to, no pun intended, but to connect people. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
right. I'm
We're
a
hoping
dad.
to
Did you hear
continue
that?
to interlock.
That,
Oh, I get it.
Can you believe it?
that
It's
might
like
be in
a-
some future merchandise.
It's like an interlocking system.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
really
but
fun.
it's awesome. I like one of the best, greatest gifts of this of doing this podcast and working with Troy and Zach, aside from their friendship, is
Well.
connect. Well, shut up. Never mind. You know what? Just let me have this one thing, you jagweed. No, is connecting with other creators like yourselves.
Definitely.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pay no attention to them. They need a Snickers or something.
I didn't say anything.
No,
anything.
you are an enabler, and you know it. If it wasn't him, it was going to be you, and you know it.
I was giving you your moment.
Well, that's very kind. You were waiting. It's fine. You know what? Well, we'll just take this offline, and it'll be a whole thing.
We like
Troy's like,
like
no,
getting
do it
on
now
field."
because more people want to hear us fight.
Why does the innocent guy always catches all the shit?
That's true. You know what? That is true. That is true.
The innocent bystander.
Exactly.
Collateral
I'm
damage.
just
It's
standing here.
fine. See what you've done, Zach?
I see it. I see it. Well, here, maybe that's a good spot to wrap it up.
It's devolved.
Say thanks a lot to all our listeners, viewers.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. This has
Yeah.
been
Thank you for
awesome.
tuning in.
Yeah, Josh, Brendan, Alex, thank you for coming on, and thank you for doing what you do, and we are looking forward to seeing more.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys. Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch, and before the next Kickstarter comes around, we'll let you guys know first, and let the
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely,
Awesome.
definitely.
Yes.
All
yes,
right.
yes, very cool. Well, thank
Well,
you
we'll
guys.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks, chat, and we'll see you